Radhe Radhe, Dandava Pranam. Welcome to Shri Radha Vino Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupana Gugoriya Guru Varga ki jai, Patit Pavana Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.
Dandava Pranam Vaishnavas, Hari Gana, Dandava Pranam.
Dandava Pranam. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Sham. Jiva Bhavana Prabhu has already posted the Mangala Charana.
Jiva Bhavana Prabhu is awesome. Oh, Janardhan Das was doing the Lulu with you. I think it's called the Ulu.
But the Lulu is the sound
Yes.
it makes.
Okay.
We will start.
So we will start with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Sri Gaudiya Giti Gucha, already posted by Jiva Bhavana Prabhu. And that is the auspicious invocation, calling on our Gurudev, all of the Gurus in our Guru Parampara, going back to the original Guru, Krishna, and his Prem Guru, Srimati Radhika, calling on them for their mercy, their blessings, their presence, that maybe something, even one little crack, can manifest in this heart where we might be able to sprout with a little bit of devotion. It's got to start somewhere. So that's page 1. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavāścha Shri Rūpam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Samadhukam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitaścha Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Avadariyamadhuryagunaischa yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Nārāyaṇam Tvam Shirasam Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padam Jagataika Hridni Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasaram Nārāyaṇam Tvam Satatam Prapadye. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Gosvāmī Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya गौरप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्तिप्रज्ञानो केशव इति नामिने अतीवत्यचरित्राय स्वश्रितानंशपालिने जीवदुःखे सदरताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवर्षभारती देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञानोदयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमाभ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनकारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तद्वन्द्वहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदं जायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्वेष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो पङ्क्त्वा मम मन्दं मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वं पदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमद श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठानिधिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमद्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवद्दत्ततस्थितः कर्षन्वेणुस्मरैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तुनः वृन्दाये तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृन्द चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहा दावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् Harirnamaiva kevalam Valo nastyeva gatinanyata. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. Any requests for today? Maybe you need to clean the lens.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna fix this real quick, I think. Is that better?
Wow, so clear. No, I haven't even seen it yet. Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna. Now we will call out to Shri Guru for mercy, which we all require. And since Guru is the embodiment of the condensed form of Krishna's mercy, we should hope and expect that mercy to come to us. Our Srila Gurudev has said, and Srila Bhaktivedānta Mahārāja has said, and Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāja has said, and I'm sure many other stalwart gurus in our line have said, that this world, this universe, is never devoid of a pure devotee. Our Gurudev said to think otherwise is an atheistic conception. Srila Bhaktivedānta Gosvāmī Mahārāja said, it is never devoid of a Rupanuga Vaishnava. He said, otherwise it would cease to exist. And Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāja said, immediately it would cease to exist in a moment. In other words, there is no purpose for the entire material creation, ultimately, other than for the Lord to give His mercy. And His mercy comes in the form of the pure Vaishnavas, in the form of Shri Guru, Krishna Kripa Shri Murti, the form of the mercy of Krishna. And since we require that mercy, and He has the tendency to give mercy, means Krishna has that tendency, then this world exists. The material world exists. Otherwise, it wouldn't. So it is part of His Kripa Lila, His pastime of giving mercy. Every part of Himself, every mood, every bhav has a corresponding medium of service. He has a desire, and immediately, or for all time, the corresponding service is manifest. So the jivas receiving His mercy and making their way back to Him, or in essence accepting that mercy and holding on to that, receiving it, this is a cause of pleasure for Krishna. So how can we please Krishna as Baddha jivas? Accept that mercy which He is sending to us. That means accept Shri Guru, accept the Vaishnavas. Hold on very tightly to the lotus feet of Shri Guru, receive the instructions from Shri Guru, follow those instructions, and by that, Krishna will become pleased. So now we're going to call out to Gurudev in the words, Jai Jai Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru. Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema
Sate
অদ্ভুত যাকো পরকাশ, অদ্ভুত যাকো পরকাশ, অদ্ভুত যাকো পরকাশ। গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব, 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 জয় প্রভুপাদ, জয় প্রভুপাদ, জয় প্রভুপাদ, জয় প্রভুপাদ, প্রভুপাদ, জয় প্রভুপাদ, প্রভুপাদ, জয় প্রভুপাদ। গুরু পরম্পরা, 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 গুরু পরম্পরা। श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुपानुगुरु वर्ग की जय, श्री गुरु परंपरा की जय।
I just wanted to wait a second in between picking a song and singing it so they can play it.
Sorry. Dandavat pranama Vaishnavas. Page 44, Ebaro Kuruna Guru Vaishnava Goshai. Page 44 in the songbook or whatever Jiva Pavana Prabhu posts. এবার করুণা করু বৈষ্ণব গোসাই, এবার করুণা করু বৈষ্ণব গোসাই, পতিত পাবন তোমার বিনে কেহ নাই, পতিত পাবন তোমার বিনে কেহ নাই। কাহারো নিকটে গেলে পাপ দূরে যায়, কাহারো নিকটে গেলে পাপ দূরে যায়। এই মোর দয়াল প্রভু কে বা খোতা পায়, এই মোর দয়াল প্রভু কে বা কোথা পায়। গঙ্গার পরশ হইলে পশ্চাতে পাব, গঙ্গার
পরশ হয়ে পশ্চাতে পাবন দর্শনে পবিত্র করো এ তোমারো দর্শনে পবিত্র করো এ তোমারো হরিস্থানে অপরাধে তারে হরি নাম হরিস্থানে অপরাধে তারে হরি নাম তোমার স্থানে অপরাধে নাহি কোহে রাম তোমার স্থানে অপরাধে নাহি কোহে রাম তোমারো হৃদয়ে সদা গোবিন্দ বিশ্রাম তোমারো হৃদয়ে সদা গোবিন্দ বিশ্রাম গোবিন্দ কৌহে নম বৈষ্ণব গোবিন্দ কৌহে নম বৈষ্ণব প্রতি জন্মে করি আশা চরণের ধূলি প্রতি জন্মে করি আশা চরণের ধূলি নরোত্তমে করো দয়া নরোত্তমে করো দয়া আপনার এবার করুণা করো বৈষ্ণব এবার করুণা করো বৈষ্ণব পতিত পাবন তোমার বিনে কেহ না পতিত পাবন তোমার বিনে কেহ না वैष्णव ठाकुर जय 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 वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर प्रभु कृपा करो मोरे दया करो प्रभु कृपा करो मोरे दया प्रभु कृपा करो मोरे दया करो प्रभु कृपा करो मोरे दया करो वैष्णव ठाकुर की जय।
Shuniyachi sadhu mukhe, page 51. Bole sarvajan. 51. Shuniyachi sadhu mukhe bole sarva jano Śrī Rupa kripayo mile jugala charano Shuniyachi sadhu mukhe bole sarva jano Śrī Rupa kripayo mile jugala charano Ha ha Prabhu Sanātana Gosvāmī Ha ha Prabhu Sanātana Gosvāmī Sabe mili vancha purno Guru bhoya maro Sabe mili vancha purno Guru bhoya maro Śrī Rupero kripa jino Yama pratihoyo Se padoya shrayo ja Se mahashayo Śrī Rupero kripa jino Yama pratihoyo Se padoya shrayo ja Se mahashayo Prabhu lokanato kabe songe loya jabe Prabhu lokanato kabe songe loya jabe Śrī Rupero pado padume more samarpibe Śrī Rupera pado padume more samarpibe Enoki horibe moro Narama sakhi gane Anugato narotame Horibe shasone Enoki horibe moro Narama sakhi gane Anugato narotame Horibe shasone Enoki horibe moro Narama sakhi gane Enoki horibe moro Narama sakhi gane Anugato narotame Horibe shasone Anugato narotame Horibe shasone Rupa Sanātana Jai Rupa Sanātana Jai Rupa Sanātana Jai Rupa Sanātana Rupa Sanātana Jai Rupa Sanātana Rupa Sanātana Jai Rupa Sanātana Prabhu hai Prabhu hai Prabhu hai Prabhu hai Prabhu hai Prabhu hai Prabhu hai
Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai, Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī Pad ki jai, Śrī Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Śrī Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Look at that. Devaki is becoming expert in rags. She's recognizing the rags. That rag is known as Bhairavi. But yeah, it is the same tune as the Gaudiya tune of Damodarāṣṭakam, and also Bhaja Mana, and also many other bhajans have that same rag. But actually, rags can be bhajans can be sung in practically any rag or any rhythm structure, as long as you know how to do it properly, and many different variations of those as well. So they are always dynamic. So you like that same one, you can sing Shunyachi sadhumuke bole sarvajano Shri Rupa kripaya mile jugala charano. Same tune, but a different rhythm structure. And then, of course, there's many different ones. Shunyachi sadhumuke bole sarvajano. That's a different rhythm structure and a different tune. And then you can do like Shuniyachi sadhuke bole sarva jano Shri Rupa kripayo mile jugala charana. There's so many different variations depending on the time of day. There's a different rag for every 15 minutes of the day, and within that rag there are infinite variations, and really the rags have originated from the singing, the flute song, the ankle bells, the waist bells of Krishna and the gopis. When they're dancing, the bells are making new and new rags. What to speak of that? They are making rags. Actually, they are experiencing rag, which is transcendental, deep love and attachment, and that is manifesting from everything and everyone in praise and in poetry, in tunes and song and everything. Shriya Kanta Kantaha Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Druma Bhumischintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Kataganam Natyam Gamanamapi Vangshi Priyasaki. Says Kataganam Natyam Gamanamapi Vangshi Priyasaki. Every word is a song, every step is a dance. And the flute is Krishna's dearest girlfriend. Vangshi Priyasaki. We've been discussing this. Srimati Radhika, the gopis were like, no, how is this possible? That empty stick is taking our property. So they become like a jealous co-wife. Gurudev explained. So even the rags, if we approach it in the right mood, if we're doing it for any other purpose other than prayer, then it can actually be considered a vice. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj mentioned that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered music ordinary. Okay? Did you catch it? Ah.
There'll just be a pause.
Okay.
And no, I wasn't.
Really?
Really?
Maybe you were and you didn't know it.
Maybe. No. Oh, I listened to a lecture this morning on my phone.
Janardhan Prabhu said last night in the US, Padmanabha Maharaj was telling how Gurudev transformed our musical karma into kirtan. Yeah, if you want to hear the musical karma from before, there's an old album called No More Pain. It was popular way back when, way before we came to Gurudev, and it was probably my first official album, and it was kind of a little poppy, you know, like pop music, but with Hari Haraye and other things like that, and it's pretty funny actually.
Just saying, Chutananda Swami didn't, or Prabhu didn't approve.
Yeah. Anyhow, so Gurudev did gradually adjust that, and he wanted to utilize us for kirtan whenever he liked. So he's just saying that. I cannot say that my kirtan is real or devotional, but I can say that Gurudev did instruct me to learn from Krishnadas, so I sat next to Krishnadas for years, and that was in Kartik or in any place where Gurudev was doing his programs, and Krishnadas would call me to be with him, and I would sit there and learn with him, or sorry, from him, being next to him. And Gurudev told Sudevi, and I'm like the jealous co-wife now, Gurudev said to me, he said, you should learn like Krishnadas, and he told Sudevi, you should learn like me, meaning like Gurudev. And I was looking like, hey. But Krishnadas is good. He's good. Gurudev said of all my kirtaniyas, he's number one. And then he said of all my lady kirtaniyas, Sudevi is number one. Gurudev liked that Kandiva Uchaishwari, the being able to sing at the top of one's voice, very loudly with full power and energy. If you hear Gurudev's bhajans and kirtans from back in the day, he would sing like that, so high and so powerful and loud that even, maybe not Krishnadas, but so many would have a difficult time keeping up with him. Radhe, 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 Govinda. You've heard that recording? That Gurudev was singing like that, so high. He did instruct me, one of the first instructions he gave, which I have not yet followed. It's just too much for me to try to, it's like learning a new language. He said you should learn the proper rag for the proper time of day. I believe I was singing the wrong tune at the wrong time of day when he told me that. And I remember hearing this katha, one story about Narada Muni. In his previous birth, before he was cursed to become the son of a Shudrani, he was such a bad singer. He didn't know rag, he didn't know the rhythms, he didn't know anything. He was such a bad singer that the demigods of music would literally contort and become deformed by hearing him sing. So then they gave him under the care of, I think his name is Chitra Sen, the lead singer of the demigods, so that he could learn. Huh? I don't know. So he could learn how to sing. Chitrangada? I think that might be somebody in the Mahabharata. Anyhow. So then he learned how to sing, and he was very, very good. And what do you normally find with people who become expert in any talent? They start using it for their kanaka, wealth, increasing their wealth, their kamani, increasing their sense gratification, attracting others to enjoy with them, and pratishta, name, fame, position, power, and everything else. That's the nature in this world. Somebody becomes a little good at something, and then they use it for their own self-aggrandizement, their enjoyment, and everything else, forgetting that there's always someone much better. What is our singing next to their singing? What is our beauty next to their beauty? When we were little, our teachers made it very clear. They always told us, the most beautiful woman in this world is like a frog next to any ordinary demigoddess. And we were like, wow. And they said, and the most beautiful woman in the heavenly planets is like a frog compared to the gopis. And we were like, wow. But our singing, any ability that we have, what is its source? The original source is Krishna. And from him, the actual capacity to act is a manifestation of Shakti. It's a potency. So Krishna and Srimati Radhika have manifested all abilities. And so any ability, we can say, comes from Krishna. He says, I am the ability in man or woman or humankind or any kind. He is ability itself. So whatever we have received is in essence like a gift. Therefore we should utilize that gift in their service. Otherwise it will be considered pratikul, unfavorable to the development of bhakti. Because I will be endeavoring to be the enjoyer instead of turning everything toward Krishna for his enjoyment. not too long ago. We were in one temple in Vrindavan, and an expert singer was singing. And every time he would come to a certain point in the very beautiful bhajan, he would look over at his girl and start singing one particular phrase. And although it was part of the song, it was the nickname he gave her. And he'd be like, la, 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 singing like this. And I would just get like disgusted. We're here in front of Thakurji and you're singing this to her. And I know what you're doing. I said, I can't participate in that. Because that is not kirtan. It's not even an endeavor for kirtan. It's lust. Looking like kirtan. Atmendriya priti vancha taribale kam, Krishnendriya priti icha dhare premanam. The tendency to try to satisfy my own senses and the senses of others in this material world, that is known as lust. The tendency to try to satisfy and please the transcendental senses of Krishna, that is known as prem or love. So as much as possible, if we can somehow try to control our begams, our urges, reel them in and then focus them toward Krishna. The same tendencies that we have toward things in this world, if we dovetail it and turn it toward Krishna, will open the doors to perfection for us. Kapila Dev is telling Devahuti. So now we will call out to Śrī Nityananda Prabhu. Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. Page 163. If you do not have a songbook, Jiva Pavana Prabhu very kindly posts the bhajans in the comment section of the thread, along with their translations, and generally followed by beautiful commentaries of our acharyas. So don't miss it. Page 163, Nadiya Godrume. Before we sing the bhajans, we always sing the Panchatattva Mahamantra, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan, Patiya Chena Mahato Jivena Karam. নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ শ্রদ্ধাবন জন হে শ্রদ্ধাবন জন হে শ্রদ্ধাবন জন হে শ্রদ্ধাবন জন হে পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ প্রভুর জ্ঞায় ভাই মাগিয়ে ভিক্ষা প্রভুর জ্ঞায় ভাই মাগিয়ে ভিক্ষা বলো কৃষ্ণ ভজো কৃষ্ণ করো কৃষ্ণ শিক্ষা বলো কৃষ্ণ ভজো কৃষ্ণ করো কৃষ্ণ শিক্ষা নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ অপরাধ শূন্য হয়ে লোহ কৃষ্ণ নাম অপরাধ শূন্য হয়ে লোহ কৃষ্ণ নাম কৃষ্ণ মাতা কৃষ্ণ পিতা কৃষ্ণ ধন প্রাণ কৃষ্ণ মাতা কৃষ্ণ পিতা কৃষ্ণ ধন প্রাণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ কৃষ্ণের সংসার করো ছাড়ি অনাচার কৃষ্ণের সংসার করো ছাড়ি অনাচার জীবে দয়া কৃষ্ণ নাম সর্বধর্ম সার জীবি নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ শ্রদ্ধাবন জন হে শ্রদ্ধাবন জন হে শ্রদ্ধাবন জন হে শ্রদ্ধাবন জন হে পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নদিয়া গোধুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন পতি আছে না মহত জীবের কারণ নিতাই 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 হে 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 গৌর 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 হে গৌর 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 হে গৌর 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 হে গৌর 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 জয় নিত্যানন্দ রাম জয় নিত্যানন্দ রাম নিত্যানন্দ রাম জয় নিত্যানন্দ রাম জয় নিত্যানন্দ রাম জয় নিত্যানন্দ রাম नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम निताई है गौर है निताई है गौर है ओ निताई है पतित पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम शचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। Oh, Dandava Pranam Anjali. Anjali, Anjali. I'm sorry to hear about your little one's condition. I hope your child, what do you call it? Your youngest kiddo gets well very soon. Goranga tumi more doya na charyo. That is page 78 by Sri Vasudev Ghosh. Shri Sachinandana Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho. Gaurango doyana chari ho. Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho. Apana koriya ranga charane raki ho. Apana koriya ranga charane raki ho. Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho. Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho. Tomaro charano lagi sabate aginu. Tomaro charano lagi sabate aginu. Shitala charano paya sharana lominu. Shitala charano paya sharana lominu. Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho. Gaurango tumi more doyana chari ho. Ekule okule Vasudeva Ghosha Bole Charane Dhoriya Vasudeva Ghosha Bole Charane Dhoriya Kripa Kori Rakho More Kripa Kori Rakho More Pada Chaya Diya Kripa Kori Rakho More Pada Chaya Diya Gorango Tumi More Goyana Chari Gorango Tumi More Goyana Chari Jaya Sachidananda Jaya Gaura Hari Sachidananda Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachidananda Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachidananda Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura Hai 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 Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki Jai Jai Ho Hari Bol Vishwarup Prabhu ki Jai Ho Gopinath Mamani Vedana Shuno. All right. Sudevi, old tune or Gaudiya tune? One 130. Devaki sang India tune. It's more familiar. We're gonna do the other one. Old tune. Gopina Mama Nivedana Shuna Vishai Gurujana Sada Kamarata Kichu Nahi Mora Gopina Mama Nivedana Shuna Vishai Gurujana কামরত কিছু নাহি মোর গুণ গোপীনাথ আমার ভরসা তোমার চরণে লইনু শরণ তোমার কিঙ্কর আমি গোপীনাথ আমার ভরসা তোমার চরণে লইনু শরণ তোমার কিঙ্কর আমি গোপীনাথ কেমনে শোধিবে মোরে না জানি ভক্তি কর্মে জরমতি পড়েছি সংসার ঘোরে গোপীনাথ কেমনে শোধিবে মোরে না জানি ভক্তি কর্মে জরমতি করেছি সংসার ঘোরে গোপীনাথ সকলি তোমার মায়া নাহি মম বল জ্ঞান সুর নির্মল স্বাধীনা নহে কায়া গোপীনাথ সকলি তোমার মায়া নাহি মম বল জ্ঞান সুর নির্মল স্বাধীন নহে কায় গোপীনাথ নিয়ত চরণে স্থান মাগে পামার কাঁদিয়া কাঁদিয়া করো হে করুণা দান গোপীনাথ নিয়ত চরণে স্থান মাগে পামর কাঁদিয়া কাঁদিয়া করো হে করুণা দান গোপীনাথ তুমি তো সকলি দুর্জনে তারিতে তোমার শক্তি কে আছে পাপির यारो गोपीनाथ তুমি তো সকলি পারো দুর্জনে তারিতে তোমার শক্তি কে আছে পাপির আরো গোপীনাথ তুমি কৃপা পারো বারো koilu supistaro gopina ami ki dosheru doshi asura sakana pailo charana vinoda thakilo boshi gopina ami ki dosheru doshi asura sakana pailo charana vinoda thakilo boshi gopina 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 Radha Gopinato, Radha Gopinato, Radha Gopinato, Radha Gopinato, Radha Gopinato, Radha Gopinato, Gopinato, Radha Gopinato, Krishna He, 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 Krishna He. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ji ki Jai. Radhe tere charan ki Shyama tere charan ki It's not there in the songbook. It used to be in the older version, but it's not there, so we're not going to do it. Okay. So because yesterday, Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Swami Mahārāja spoke about the prayers, the bhajans, and he specifically mentioned one by Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, Ha Devi Ka Kubara Gad Gadaya Devacha. I thought we can sing that one today. Page 275, starting with Vrindavane Viharator Iha Keli Kunje. वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय। श्री रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय। दंडवत प्रणाम रेखा दीदी। वृंदावने विहरतो इह केलि कुंजे मत्तद्विपप्रवरको तु कविभ्रमेण. I think we will do this all together. No, I'm going to lead it like that. Vrindavane viharato iha keli kunje mattadvipapravarako tu kavibhrameno sandarshayasva yuvayorvadanaravindo sandarshayasva yuvayorvadanaravindo dvandvam videhi mayi devi kripam prasida dvandvam videhi mayi devi kripam prasida ha devi kaku bharagad gadayadya vacho yache nipatya bhuvi dandavadurvatarti ha devi kaku bharagad gadayadya vacho yache nipatya bhuvi dandavadurvatarti asya prasadam abhudhasya janasya kritva asya prasadam abhudhasya janasya kritva gandharvike nijagane gananam videhi gandharvike nijagane gananam videhi shyame ramaramana sundaratavarishtha sundarya mohita samasta jagachanasya shyame ramaramana sundaratavarishtha sundarya mohita samasta jagachanasya shyamasya vamabhujabatanum kadaham shyamasya vamabhujabatanum kadaham tvamindira virala rupa bharam bhajami tvamindira virala rupa bharam bhajami tam prachadena mudira chavina vidhayo manjira mukta charanam chavidhaya devi tam prachadena mudira chavina vidhayo manjira mukta charanam chavidhaya devi kunje vrajendra tanayena virajamane kunje vrajendra tanayena virajamane nakam kada pramuditam abhisarayishye nakam kada pramuditam abhisarayishye kunje prasuna kulakalpita kelikalpe samvishtayor madhura narma vilasa bhajo kunje prasuna kulakalpita kelikalpe samvishtayor madhura narma vilasa bhajo lokatrayabharanayoshcharanam bhujani lokatrayabharanayoshcharanam bhujani samvahayishyati kadayuvayorjanoyam samvahayishyati kadayuvayorjanoyam tvatkundarodha धसि विलास परिश्रमेण स्वेदाम्बुचुम्बि वदनाम्बुरुह श्रियो वाम् त्वत्कुण्डरोधसि विलास परिश्रमेण स्वेदाम्बुचुम्बि वदनाम्बुरुह श्रियो वाम् वृन्दावनेश्वरि कदा तरुमूलभाजो वृन्दावनेश्वरि कदा तरुमूलभाजो संवेजयामि च मरीचय चामरेण संवेजयामि च मरीचय चामरेण वीणां निकुञ्जकुहरे भवतीं मुकुन्दे चित्रैव सुचितवती रुचिराक्षिणाहम् वीणां निकुञ्जकुहरे भवतीं मुकुन्दे चित्रैव सुचितवती रुचिरक्षिणाहम् भुग्नां ध्रुवं न रचयेति मृषारुषां त्वाम् भुग्नां ध्रुवं न रचयेति मृषारुषां त्वाम् अग्रे व्रजेन्द्रतनयस्य कदानुनेष्ये अग्रे व्रजेन्द्रतनयस्य कदानुनेष्ये आयुधके लिकुतुके व्रजराजसूनु ये त्वं मदामधिकदर्पविकासि जल्पाम् आयुधके लिकुतुके व्रजराजसूनु जित्वं मदामधिकदर्पविकासि जल्पाम् तूलाभिरालिभिरनल्पमुदीर्यमानो तूलाभिरालिभिरनल्पमुदीर्यमानो स्तोत्रं कदानुभवतीम् अवलोकयिष्ये स्तोत्रं कदानुभवतीम् अवलोकयिष्ये यः कोऽपि सुष्ठु वृषभानुकुमारिकाय सम्प्रार्थनाष्टकमिदं पठति प्रपन्ना यः कोऽपि सुष्ठु वृषभानुकुमारिकाय सम्प्रार्थनाष्टकमिदं पठति प्रपन्ना सा प्रेयसा सह समेत्य प्रमोदा सा प्रेयसा सह समेत्य प्रमोदा तत्र प्रसादलहरीं उररीकरोति तत्र प्रसादलहरीं उररीकरोति तत्र प्रसादलहरीं उररीकरोति तत्र प्रसादलहरीं उररीकरोति जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय. What tune of Damodarāṣṭakam did we do yesterday? Because we got thrown off one day or 2 days because of the holy days, and then we did, it wasn't every other day. Alright, we need you all. One of you knows which one we did. Did I do the Gaudiya tune or the tune we grew up with? Today's the Gaudiya tune. Okay. And I'm waiting for Janardhan Prabhu to write Śrī Satyavrata Muni ki jai. This one we do all together. And just remember. Thank you, Sudevi. Śrī Dāmodara ki jai. राधा विनो बिहारी जू की जय, सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय, राधारमण जू की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, शलग्राम शील की जय, लड्डू गोपाल की जय, चुत्ता चुत्ता लड्डू गोपाल की जय. In case you didn't notice, Thakurji has adjusted. They are in New Shringar today, so if you wait until the end, you will get close-up darshan. Very, very beautiful, very charming. Namami Sharam Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundanam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Bhiyo Lukham Ladhavamanam Paramrishtamotyam Tato Drutya Gopna Namami Sharam Sachidananda Rupam Dasat Kundanam Gokule Brajamanam Rudantam Muhurnetra Yugmam Vijantam Karam Bhoja Yugmeno Shatam Kanetram Muhushvasakam Trirekhankakanto Stitagraivatam Sachidananda Rupam Dasat Kundanam Gokule Brajamanam Iti Kishori Labhi Ananda Kunde Svaghosham Nimojantam Takyapayantam Tadiyeshita Yeshu Bhaktarjitatam Punaprematastam Shatavriti Vande Namami Sharam Sachidananda Rupam Dasat Kundanam Gokule Brajamanam Varam Deva Moksham Namokshavadhim Va Tachanyam Vrineham Vareshadapiha Idam Deva Purnātam Gopalavanam Swadame Manasya Sachidananda Rupam Dasat Kundanam Gokule Brajamanam Idam Te Mukham Bojam Avyakto Nilay Kritam Kuntalay Sridha Praktaishta Gopya Muhushtumbitam Gimbam Raktadharam Me Manasya Vidastam Malam Lakshalabhay Namami Sharam Sachidananda Rupam दामोदर जू की जय, श्री दामोदराष्टकम की जय। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Shri Shinitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Patit Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vinu Bihari Ju ki jai, Harinama Sankirtan ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. That Hare Krishna tune, we had a recording of it when we were in Australia, in Perth. And it was a Srila Gurudev singing it on a lunar eclipse kirtan. Really sweet way Gurudev was singing it. It was so soft and so gentle. And I remember I was completely stunned when I heard it. Like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And when the cassettes came to India, that one was missing from the place where it was kept. So somebody has it, but we don't have it anymore. However, that was the last tune of Hare Krishna that I heard Krishnadas Prabhu sing. And it was the first time I ever heard him sing it. was on, I think it was one of Srila Gurudev's Appearance Day festivals. It was a couple years ago, of course, before he had his stroke. And he sang that tune, and I was like, after all of these years, it's the first time I've heard you sing that tune. Luckily, I was able to record it. I don't know if it's been put out yet, but today I received a message from Yadava in Sardinia. He's asking for recordings of Krishnadas Prabhu, so perhaps I will dig that one up and send it as well. So, anyhow, that was in Rag Yaman, and I'm not perfect at that rag, but anyhow, I was remembering Gurudev and remembering Krishnadas singing his heart out for Srila Gurudev, praying in that tune. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktāya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Nitti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swami Nitti Namine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Ashto Tarshata Shri Śrīmad, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. In the same Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Ashto Tarshata Shri Śrīmad, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga, Gauriya, Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Sham.
Radhe Sham. Radha Vino Bihari.
Radha Vino Bihari.
Sudevi is like a whole factory. She's like sewing and cooking and taking care of Thakurji, making new outfits. She's just got a whole thing going. She's like, I was thinking of starting the outfit for Janmashtami. What do you think? Maybe for Radhashtami also. And she'll have many projects going at once. So,
What they're wearing is Radhashtami.
this was a previous Radhashtami outfit. So, they are wearing Radhashtami outfit. And then Sudevi's like, well, if they're wearing it on a normal day, that means I have to make a new one. So, it's how they like it. They want more and more. And she has some time to do such a thing. So we are continuing with Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. This beautiful treasure, full of all kinds of transcendental gems, and special compartments full of more transcendental gems, and all kinds of different unique flavors and treasures, is composed from the heart of Śrī Satyavrata Muni, placed in Padma Purana by Ved Vyas, commented on by our Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī, then translated that commentary by our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, with his added Bhav Anuvad, means his commentary full of all kinds of transcendental moods and sentiments. That is followed by the commentary of our Srila Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj, which is full of ras and bhav, very, very deep and very sweet, and so many refined points are there. Was it our Srila Gurudev who explained? Other acharyas have explained as well. Bhaktivedānta Thakur also explained it. I believe it was in Sri Krishna Samhita, if I'm not mistaken. He said the current acharya is the refined sum total of all previous acharyas combined. And I thought, wow, I've come under the guidance of my Gurudev, but he's got like all of them focused through him to me. What an amazing concept. And then we hear that from our acharyas, that these divine personalities, they are making commentaries. Our Srila Prabhupada was not the first person to comment on Bhagavad Gita. His Gurudev did as well, and so did his Gurudev, Bhaktivedānta Thakur. And their gurus also did, and all of them are as it is. And each time they're revealing some more jewels, some more insight, showing the light in different angles, creating such, not creating, but awakening or manifesting from that such beautiful transcendental treasures. And each time another acharya brings it out, it doesn't lessen or weaken the previous acharya's position. It enhances it even more. So this is the nature of the pure devotees, always glorifying the pure devotees, taking from them and then expanding upon it. And it's not like they themselves are necessarily expanding upon it from one perspective. Because they're all drawing from the same source. It is Shabda Brahma, descending transcendental sound vibration flowing through them. In essence, they are like a flute. What Krishna is playing through them, they are manifesting. Srila Gurudev compared Rupa Goswami to the flute of Mahaprabhu. That is the meaning of transparent via medium. Means they are the medium by which Krishna is able to communicate to us, and by which we are also able to communicate with Krishna. Think of it like a transmitter, right? You've got your mobile phone, and someone else has a mobile phone across the world. It has to go somewhere. There's a receiver. This phone is transmitting. There's a receiver which transmits to probably a satellite, which retransmits to another receiver, which retransmits to that phone. And as long as those transmitters and receivers are clean and clear, that signal will go through. Guru is that transparent medium, perfectly clean and perfectly clear, by which we are able to communicate to Krishna and by which he also communicates to us. Srila Gaura Govinda Mahārāja, he said that everything Krishna wants to tell us, he tells through the mouth of Guru. So what Guru says, we should understand that this is the word of God in essence. It is the words of Krishna, and also it is personalized for us, for each individual. Sometimes it's for one, sometimes it's for all. So there's a general, and then there are also personal instructions. So each personality is enhancing, awakening, and bringing out what the others have brought out. And there's nothing wrong with it. In the future, more and more commentaries of Bhagavad Gita will be manifested, of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So many commentaries are there by our pure devotees, Rupanuga Guru Varga. Even those who aren't necessarily Rupanuga. For example, Sridhar Swami, one of the original commentators on Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Mahaprabhu said anyone who doesn't accept his commentary, they're basically stealing. He said they're just taking something, but they're not giving credit where credit is due. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented. Jiva Goswami has commented. Bhaktivedānta Thakur has commented. So many stalwart acharyas have commented. And we see in this book here, not a book, it is the manifestation of the hearts of these divine transcendental personalities. But we see that Sanatana Gosvāmī Pad has commented. Then our Param Gurudev has commented. Then our Gurudev has commented. And in the future, we should hope to see anyone who is like them continue commenting, and they will bring out new and ever fresh jewels. How is it possible that it has been commented on so much and still there's so much more for it to reveal? Because although transcendental literature is in essence, the sound form of the Lord, non-different from the Lord himself. And he is always complete. And any part of himself that he manifests, that is also complete, and he never loses any of his completeness. Anyone who can quote the Sanskrit for that he is full and complete in himself, and even if he expands himself unlimitedly, he never loses any part of himself. Come on, not you, Sudevi, and not Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Come on. No Tattvadarshis allowed. Anyone who knows that verse, speaking about that the Supreme Lord is the complete whole, and even if he expands himself unlimitedly, he never loses any part of himself.
He knows it too. Oh, someone got it.
You got to quote the first word of that. Come on. There you go. I'll give it to you also. There you go. We got Purnamada, Purnamidam. Om Purnam Adap Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. And I didn't even say what you get. Devaki.
They both get samosas.
Okay, you're all getting samosas. So we're going to sing it the way we sang it when we were little. And I think it was in a very, very prominent album that was top of the charts for many, many weeks. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
That's not the way it was sung. Om.
Sorry.
Purnam-
Om Purnamada.
No.
That's a different one. That's the end part.
Purnamida.
Come on, Sudevi, show us. Wait.
No, I'm just telling you.
That's the end part, isn't it, when it goes into a chorus chant, right? Purna, Purna, Udachate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnam eva vashishyate. When we were in Lithuania, I just saw Taruni here, and it reminded me, we were in Lithuania, and we met up with this one devotee who we had never met before, but we heard about her. She was a famous punk rocker back in the day. I think the name of the band was Polystyrene or something like that. And she happened to be there. And she was like really interested, and we were speaking about Krishna, and she was also there listening, and she said, yeah, I'm also a singer. We said, well, what do you sing? What do you know? And she just started, Om Purnamada. We were like, oh my God. Old school. It was pretty amazing. That is the chorus at the end.
No, it was the whole thing. I got witnesses.
Woo! It's okay. The Tattvadarshi speaks. Just so you know, I'm just here as a mouthpiece. Sudevi, she shares her inspiration, and then I'm busy sewing for Thakurji, so you speak what I tell you. So I'm here as a mouthpiece. So now we are in the verse 5 of Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. I was going to say Upadeshamrita because there's a verse from Upadeshamrita. Verse 5. Idam te mukham bhojam avyaktanīlayar vritam kuntalai snigdharaktaiśta gopya muhushchumbitam bimba raktadharam me manasya virastam malam lakshalabhai namami sharam sachidanandarupam la satkundalam gokule brajamanam. So that verse is the verse from Śrī Satyavrata Muni, showing increased longing, increased transcendental greed. Why am I saying greed? Because suddenly he's aspiring for the moods of Brajavasis. Before he's saying Namam Ishvaram Sachidananda Rupam, I'm offering pranam to the Supreme Controller, the supremely majestic Supreme Personality whose form is composed of eternality, bliss, love, affection, all knowledge, Satchidananda Rupam. And then he comes to, I want to see that beautiful form of Bal Gopal always within my heart. And he's like, no, his desire, his greed is coming more. Now he wants to see the Lord in relation with his devotees. And he desires to see that beautiful lotus-like face with that really black hair that has like a blackish bluish hair. So dark, but then it has a reddish tint as well, interestingly enough. And he wants to see that beautiful face with those curling locks of hair that are kissing his cheeks. He wants to see that face kissed again and again and again by Mother Yashoda. And then as he wants to see that face kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, he starts developing this desire. I also want to do that like she's doing that. I want to love Krishna like that. This is called Raganuga Bhakti. Why? Because he wants to serve Krishna following in the wake of an eternal associate of Krishna in Vrindavan. That is Ragatmika Jan. So Rag Anuga means under the guidance of or following in the wake of that personality who has that relationship with Krishna. But he's still continuing on from there. It's not enough. He's also desiring to see that beautiful face of Krishna that is kissed again and again by Srimati Radhika. And then there was a beautiful conversation about lips. We've already discussed that, but apparently every part of Krishna is extremely charming, more charming than we could ever imagine, especially his transcendental lips. And those lips are always, from the gopis' perspective, kissing his flute. And they're feeling, hey, that is our property. How is it that that piece of bamboo has been able to take that which belongs to us? What great austerities has that flute or that bamboo done in any previous lives to attain such a status? Oh, it is like the flute is his dearest girlfriend. And then they become a little bit jealous, like any co-wife becomes jealous of the other one who's getting more attention from her husband. Srila Gurudev was explaining this. And then Gurudev started telling us about the bhajans of the acharyas. So we sang today, Vrindavane viharitor ihakeli kunje matat vipak pravar kautuka vibramena sandarshayashva yuvayor vadanaravinda dvanvam videhi mayideva kripam prasida. That one is quite a tongue twister. Ha dedi kakubara gadgataya devacha yache nipatya bhuvidanda vadudbatarti asya prasadam budhasya janasya kritva gandharvike tavagane gananang videhi. So Gurudev is telling what kind of moods our acharyas are revealing, and that when we sing these bhajans, we should not think that we are the singer. We should understand that they are the ones saying these prayers, and we should actually be praying to them that you are doing this. Please give me one drop of the mood that is in your heart, even one particle of the mood that is in your heart. In the same way as when we're worshipping Thakurji, we shouldn't see that we're the ones worshipping. Rather, we should see that Gurudev is worshipping. Gurudev is offering the bhog. Gurudev is doing everything, the cooking. Guru Sakhi, who's assisting Sri Rupa, who's assisting Lalita Sakhi, who's assisting Srimati Radhika. Works like that. Dasi, dasi, anudasi. Srila Gurudev explained that actually. That verse, I think it was in Pinnacle of Devotion, if I'm not mistaken, where Srila Gurudev explained that this mood is saying Gopi Bhartu, the beloved of the gopis. Gopi Bhartu. Which gopi? Well, Mahaprabhu is telling this, so it is Radhika and Das, Das, Anudas. So what is the Das of Radha's Krishna? There can be no male form there. That would be Dasi. Who is serving them? Lalita Sakhi is serving. Rupa Manjari is serving. So Rupa Manjari Anugatya, Das Anudas or Dasi Anudasi. Like this. This is what Mahaprabhu is saying. I am not any of these external things, these external positions in this world. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. This is all external. Go further, he told Ramananda. Go further, go more. And finally he's saying, I'm none of this. What am I? My identity, my eternal identity is only that I am a servant of the servant of the servant of that Krishna, the beloved of the gopis. Radha Kanta Namostude. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving to us. And that is what Rupa Goswami is giving to us. And that is what all of our Rupanuga Guru Varga are giving to us. So Srila Gurudev was telling how when we are praying, when we're doing anything actually, he said you shouldn't see that it is you that's doing it. You should only see that I'm assisting in that service. So I've told before, but many of you may not have been here. Radhe Radhe Bhanumati. Radhe Radhe. Many, many years ago, there was one young lady in New Braj, and they told her, you have to do Mangalarti. She was really afraid. Why? Because Gurudev was there at that time. So she would have to do Arti in front of Gurudev and all those senior Vaishnavas. She wasn't very adept at it. She didn't know exactly how to do everything. She was feeling some anxiety about doing it, but there was no one else to do it, so she had to. Feeling her fear, anyhow, she still did it. But how did she do it? In her mind and in her heart, she saw that Gurudev was holding her hand and showing her how to offer all of the articles to Thakurji. When Jaidwani, after Mangalarti finished, everyone paid their obeisance. And they were saying, Jai, Jai, Jai. Gurudev walked up to her and said to her ear, I like your mood so much. We always say it's Radharani's kitchen. What does that mean? She's the one who's cooking for Krishna, but she has assistants helping her. When, oh when will that day be mine when I can assist her in serving Krishna? Who's doing the arti? Yashoda is doing the arti. The gopis are doing the arti. Radhika is doing the arti. Gurudev said the gopis are doing arti with their eyes. Arati. Arati means that love and affection, deep attachment should manifest in my heart. Arati. So they're doing the arti. All of those different aspects of bhakti, instead of thinking I'm the doer. Interesting, we started with this. Krishna said he's the doer, he's the ability, but he says those with the demonic mindset, they think I am the doer. Ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. He says, ahankar, those who are egotistical. Ahankar means ego or false ego, but it also stems from the Sanskrit. If you break that apart into two, you have aham, kara. Aham means I am, and kara means the doer or to do. I am the doer. Vimudhatma. Vimudha atma means those persons who are in the grossest kind of illusion, the most foolish. They're thinking that I am the one who is doing everything. Kartaham iti manyate. We should understand that the ability, power, potency, all of that comes from the Lord. And so instead of thinking that I'm the one doing this and I'm working my way to perfection, instead we should be in such a way that perfection's mercy will work its way into our hearts. We should make it attractive so that Krishna will want to come and play here. Gurudev will help us to do such a thing. So I'm not the doer, I'm only assisting in all of these different kinds of services. When we're doing these bhajans, we're not doing the bhajans. Gurudev said, I've never chanted anything, I'm serving Harinam Prabhu. So we should not be doing bhajans, we should be serving those personalities whose hearts are manifesting or revealing these deep moods and praying to them when, oh when, will just even a drop of your mood, a particle of your mood, enter my heart. So Gurudev was speaking about this. As we sing these verses, we should meditate on our Guru Varga and consider, it is you who are actually submitting these prayers. It is you who are singing them. Without your mercy, I will never be qualified to make such prayers. It is only by their mercy that we can follow in their footsteps and pray like this, and thus gradually attain loving service to the divine couple in Braj. Why can't you understand this tattva, Janardhan Prabhu? No, he used the word can't. I am. Krishna says aham. And the jiva, the pure jiva, is also I. But this false conception that we have of ourselves, it's a weird statement, but anyhow, this is ahankar. It is false ego. Because in this body, we think I am this, but last body we were something else, and the next body we will be something else, but the soul remains unchanged. So all of these are false identities. They're not eternal. They're not really real. They're temporary covering identities. It's like putting on a costume and playing a role. But it's not really who we are. I am Nitya Krishna Das. Jiver Surpahoy Krishner Nitya Das Krishner Tatastha Shakti Bheda Be Prakash. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Rupa Goswami, the nature of all jivas is that they are eternally the servants of Krishna. They are Krishna's Tatashta Shakti. Krishner Tatastha Shakti means Krishna's marginal potency, and they are at the same time different and not different from him. How? In terms of their quantity. All jivas are called Vibhina Anksha Tattva. Anksha means basically part or incarnation, minute, microscopic. And Vibhina is this microscopic or infinitesimal. And the opposite of Vibhina is Vibhu, which means infinite, ever expanding. So we are always in the subservient position, and he is always in the superior position. Except when love, prem, becomes so great that he consents to come under the control of that love and affection. Amazing. The smallest particle can control the most infinite by pure love and affection, by his design. So who am I? First, there's that general platform, Nitya Krishna Das. But what kind of Das? What kind of service? What is my intrinsic, essential, eternal, natural relationship of love and affection with Bhagavan? That is the more refined conception of I. You can see a seed and you know it's a mango seed, and that mango seed will make a mango tree. And that mango tree will make mango flowers, mango leaves, mango branches, and mango fruits, eventually. So I, the real I, will have my eternal, natural, spontaneous relationship of love and affection with Krishna as it is meant to be. And that will be the real me. And that relationship between this I, soul, and Krishna, that is of the eternal nature, and it is based on pure love and affection. Thank you for your question. Janardhan Prabhu, your questions are very deep. Like, did I just write this, or did I just desire it to be written? It's just an illusion, Janardhan. You're just imagining that I'm seeing it. No, I'm just kidding. The doer. The idea that the power or the potency is of me. this idea that I am the owner of something. This idea is false. Krishna is the owner of everything. Nothing moves in essence without his sanction. Everything is under his jurisdiction. So, you can say from one kind of perspective that the fact that you can lift your hand and type or write, where does that potency come from? That is a Shakti. It is Shakti. It is a potency. So where's the source of that? Krishna is Purna Shaktiman. He is the complete possessor of and manifester of all potency. And who is the complete potency? Radha Purna Shakti. She is the complete Shakti. What is Shakti? Quality, power, effect. So the example given by our acharyas is quite telling. It's quite easy to understand. You have the sun. What are the qualities of the sun? Light, heat, shape, life-giving properties. So many different qualities of the sun. Those qualities are what define the sun. Without those qualities, we would not be able to define the sun. In the same way, without Krishna's potencies, he would not be able to be defined. By his potency, means by the grace of his Shakti, he can be known. That's why we don't try to approach him ourselves directly. We approach through the medium of his Shakti. And that principle is for every Shaktiman. You approach first through Shakti. You say Sitaram, Radheshyam, Lakshmi Narayan, like that. You call the name of the Shakti first. So how do we understand? How can we see? We can understand or see through the medium of the qualities and the potencies. That's why our Gurudev would joke, Krishna without Radhika, actually there's no meaning to that. And there's no meaning to Radha without Krishna. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman, Dui Vastu Bhedanai Shastra Paraman. According to all revealed scriptures, there is no difference between these two transcendental substances, Dui Vastu, Krishna and Radhika. In the same way that there's no meaning to fire without its heat, or no meaning to musk without the scent of musk. What is fire without heat? It's not fire. So, there's no meaning to Krishna without Radhika, and no meaning to Radhika without Krishna. They are eternally, in essence, interdependent on each other. But Gurudev would joke, Krishna without Radhika would be near Vishesh Brahm. It's actually not a joke. It's simple truth. Even that is too much. But near Vishesh, without variety, without any attribute that one can define. The fact that you can say that Krishna has a beautiful lotus-like face, that he stands in a threefold bending form, that he puts that flute to his lips. His lips are so beautiful and sweet and attractive. His eyes are glancing and darting to and fro. His curly hair is kissing his cheeks. His peacock feather is turned in such a way. His feet are crossed in such a way. He's so dark, but at the same time so brilliant and effulgent. Oh, his voice is deep, like thunder, and sweet like honey all at the same time. Any attribute.
Did you see what Rudra asked?
Oh.
He's asking, so you do all these things and Krishna's the Shakti behind it, but you get the karma or the simple reaction for it. So everything is done as an offering unto him?
Okay, so we can only desire to do things, and whatever happens, we are not the doer, but we will have to suffer its result. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away in charity, you do it as an offering unto me. So Krishna is telling us what to do, and he is the source of the power to do anything. In essence, everything is from him, and everything is for his purpose. Srila Bhakti-Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj was fond of quoting that from Hegel, one German philosopher, that God by definition is of himself and for himself. There is nothing that exists that is equal to or independent from him. Nothing that exists. Nothing is independent. So we've been given instructions. And yet we also have been given the allowance, in essence, to do whatever we want. And that's part of the grand plan. We've been given that little bit of independence to choose transcendental Maya, or Krishna's Yoga Maya, or Mahamaya. And either way, that is our choice. And then what happens under the spell of Mahamaya is, in essence, according to Krishna, us being controlled by the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, sometimes rising up and sometimes going downward. So we can say from one perspective that there's nothing that we can claim that we are the doer of. And then from another perspective, and this is how Gaudiya Vaishnavism deals with these issues, it's quite interesting. Achintya bheda abheda tattva. Inconceivable simultaneous difference and not difference. So we're told that also we should take responsibility. You can't think, we're not supposed to think that, well, I have just done this terrible sin, so let me blame it on Krishna. So the power or the energy to think is still energy. The power or energy to move is still energy. Desire is still energy. The ability to act. And whatever we do, we can say that it is perverted and pervertedly reflected within this material world. Perverted reflection, think of it like this. There's a tree on the side of a lake. And that lake is being moved by the wind. And there's a reflection of that tree in the water. So it is a perverted reflection. It is moving like this. But the tree is there. So there is the transcendent realm. Golok Vrindavan, or Vaikuntha, the transcendental realm. And then there's the material world, which is said to be a perverted reflection of that. One who does not understand the field of activity and the knower of activity is not in perfect knowledge. One has to understand the position of Prakriti, nature, and Purusha, the enjoyer of the nature, and Ishvara, the knower who dominates or controls nature, and the individual soul. One should not confuse the three in their different capacities. Its purport, chapter 13, nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. Yes, of course, we're Krishna's Tatashta Shakti, marginal potency of Krishna. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. This is the meaning of asango yang purushaha. The jiva, the soul, actually has asanga, no real association with the material energy. Why? Because he's transcendental, like Krishna. Apareyamitas idam Itaspanyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. I hope that's the right one. There's also mamai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. That's the one I was looking for. Krishna is talking about the jivas, his eternally fragmented parts and parcels. They are also sanatana, that thing which continually always exists. Sadatan turns into Sanatan. So that actually has no real association with the material energy. So think of it like this. And there's so many different ideas that are given, but we should understand that in this material world, it is like a... Have you ever heard of this game called Sims? I've seen people on this game for hours and hours and hours. Every day for years. Living this alternate life. Sitting at their own home, but they have a character. And they've got a different wife than their wife here. And they've got a different house than their house here. And they've got their children and their friends and everything and the things they buy. And they're just, it's called Sims for a reason. It's simulated reality. But they become so absorbed in it, they think that that's me and that's the life they want to be in. And they prefer that life to this one. That's in essence how we are in this material world compared to transcendental reality. Like that. Really, that has nothing to do with us. I asked this question to our Srila Gurudev once. According to Shastra, asangoyam purushaha, the soul has no real connection with the material world. So who or what is the experiencer of these material things? And Srila Gurudev spoke almost exactly what I've read from Srila Prabhupada's purports. He said, it's true, the soul has no connection. He said the experiencer is the subtle body. The soul only thinks that he's experiencing that. And then he said it like this. Imagine your car is outside and another car smashes into your car. And you think, oh, I've been hit. Actually, that car has nothing to do with you really, except for your attachment to it. But it's not really you. In the same way that this body, this mind, this intelligence, and this ego is not really the soul. So all of the things that are going on in relation with the body directly coincide with what Jiva Pavana Prabhu just posted. He's actually always aloof from them. Wow. So my whole life is a lie, not just the one. Sorry, Janardhan Prabhu. Every single one that you've had since time without beginning. That is not directly your soul's relationship with Krishna. Right now, you're about the closest that you've ever been to the truth. So keep running on that path, and it will manifest for you. Yeah, I've seen it. Family members playing The Sims. What was that other one? That game? No, that one where you're fighting and... World of Warcraft. Oh my God. I've seen so many people so addicted to that. And it's quite exciting, so they get sucked in. And if you're not doing that, then you're just watching TV and affiliating with the characters. And when your favorite character is killed off, everyone's like, whoa, why did they do that? You're living an alternate reality. We are living an alternate reality, temporary compared to what is real reality. And our Guru Varga look at it and see it for a different reality than what they're experiencing. We think we are happy, and they're looking at us like pigs wallowing in stool. And they're like, oh my God, how can you be happy in such a situation? Our Gurudev said we are like drunkards, completely intoxicated. We don't even know who we are or what we're doing or where we're going. But we think, because we're drunk, that we're the emperor of the world. And we start calling out, I am the emperor of the world. And then we fall face first into a ditch. And then some dog comes and licks you, and another one comes and urinates on you, and you think, oh, my followers are giving me abhishek. This is their perspective. Those personalities are looking at our situation thinking, oh, this is not good. You're not meant for this. You're made of love for Krishna. You're meant to love him, and you will never be satisfied by anything except for that. So their hearts feel compassion upon seeing our condition. We are actually in such a situation where we're in so much ignorance that we think we're happy. Ignorance is bliss. That's what they say. Ignorance is bliss. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there are different kinds of situations. One is poison in the beginning, poison in the end. The poison in the beginning might be that intoxication, and the effect is also toxic. So we have somehow come into contact with transcendental personalities who are gradually awakening us from our very, very deep sleep. Srila Prabhupada explained that the soul is exactly in a situation called sushupti, like deep anesthetized sleep. In this material world, it doesn't have any real connection to it, but it begins to awaken to any activity related to serving the Lord, because that is its nature. It is meant to love and serve Krishna. So it's awake to that, but asleep to everything else. But still it powers the machine, like a battery. You take a battery and you put it inside a little toy car, and the toy car will move. Then you take that battery out and you put it inside a tape recorder, and the tape recorder will move. Then you take that and you put it in a fan, and the fan will move. It's the same battery, but it's able to power all of these different bodies. The soul, in essence, in this world is like that. It's just releasing its energy, which is forever, eternal. It never loses its energy. But to the material world, it's asleep. Only in the transcendental realm does it actually manifest itself in its own nature, and it's able to connect and relish and serve and receive. So love and receive love and affection. And that starts here and now with the shelter of Shri Guru and Vaishnavas. Ado Guru Parashray. Nice. When he's asleep, he thinks he's awake, and when he's awake, he's actually sleeping. These subject matters, let me see, I've seen in the writings or the speaking of Srila Bhaktivedānta Sridhar Maharaj, he goes very into these kinds of subjects. When you have these kinds of refined questions, he actually goes very deep into them and discusses them. There's one book called Subjective Evolution of Consciousness, and it's quite mind-blowing, the depth at which he's able to move through these kinds of questions. Jaiva also has it, but it's very, the next question that pops up in your mind is the next question that's answered in Jaiva Dharma. And then you go, wait, but what about this? And then there it is, the next question. I don't know how Bhaktivedānta Thakur did it, but it's like he's leading you or reading your mind somehow, but leading your mind to question the next question, and then the answer comes. But very in-depth discussions on all of these issues are found in the works of Srila Bhaktivedānta Sridhar Maharaj, whom Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada called the guardian of devotion, Bhakti Rakshak, and felt, he expressed himself, that at least I know that one will be able to maintain and present these teachings. Of course, so many did, but he did express this about Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. And our Srila Prabhupada said about him, I see him as my Shiksha Guru, what to speak of the benefit that all of you can attain by his association. So, very, very brilliant personality. So, we are not this body. We are not this mind, intelligence, or false ego. Those are also material, subtle elements. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumir apo nalo vayu kham mano buddhir evacha ahankara itiyame bina prakritir ashtada. Prakritir means material energy. These comprise the material energy. They also make up the body and the subtle body. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. So those mind, intelligence, and false ego makes up the subtle body. False ego means it's like the computer program. Especially now during lockdown. The news keeps popping up. Video games are going through the roof. Stocks are going up. Millions of people are not able to handle being locked down, so they enter into these alternate reality states, and they're playing these games with other people who are playing the games, and they're playing with their avatars. So you have your avatar and they have their avatar, and you connect and communicate and fight with each other or fight together against other characters. Just so you know, I don't play video games. I've just seen them. The only one I ever felt a little attracted to play was Tetris. That was it. So I'm not into video games. I like designing and building and kirtan and katha. So, yes, these are material energy. Material, subtle. So this mind, this intelligence, and this current identity, and last life's identity, and forever back's identity, means forever, are all actually not really us. So there's the false ego and the real ego. What's the real ego? Gopi bhartu padakamalayur das das anudas. That's what Mahaprabhu is saying. I'm not any of these other things. This life I'm a Brahmin. Last life was I a Brahmin? Next life will I be? In this life I might go through Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanprastha, Sannyas. I'm changing so many times. That means it's not really me. That part which remains as it is, that is the imperishable soul, Krishna says. And the soul has its own identity, its own eternal, transcendental ego. And that ego is, I am the eternal servant of Krishna in any particular ras, in any way serving Krishna forever. And that is not adjustable or changeable. That is our true ego. And then there's the false ego. So, but even then, that potency, that is also Krishna's tatashta shakti. That means it is also from him. We cannot separate him or take him out of any part of any equation in all of existence. He is every part of every equation in all of existence. We are also Bibhina Angsa. He has his own incarnations, Svangsa, and then the Bibhina Angsa. So although we're very small and infinitesimal, and we're of him, and in one sense not different from him, yet we are different from him because our function as individual units of transcendental spirit, you can say, our function is to serve him exclusively. That is what we are and what we are made of. And until we come to that realization, until we come to that reality, that everything else we can consider to be maybe not fully real, unless it's directly related to bhakti, which is awakening the soul within. The sleeping soul in deep shushupti begins to shake and awake when arti is going on, when kirtan is going on, when prasadam is there, when harikatha is going on, when Thakurji is present in Vrindavan Dham. That Atma begins to wake up. So, Sarvopari vinirmuktam tapparapena nirmalam rishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. And the other one, I'm trying to remember, Atashri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Grahamindriyai Sevan Mukehi Jivado Svayam Eva Spuratyada. By doing the external activities of bhakti under the guidance of the pure devotee, gradually we are purified, and inside becomes also purified. So from the outside, utilizing all of our senses in the service of the Lord, then we start to awaken internally. And then at one point, we don't realize or see any difference. The soul itself is active to loving service for Krishna. Otherwise, the soul is not active. It's only powering the computer programs. One life after the next, after the next, after the next. It's the power source, the power supply. Okay. Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu, for posting that book, Subjective Evolution of Consciousness. I remember reading it when I was 12, and it was mind-blowing at that time. And of course, I've referenced it many, many times afterward. So, how could I have read it when I was 12? Somebody gave it to me when I was in Gurukul. No, I was in Vancouver Gurukul. I think I wasn't supposed to be reading it, but anyhow, I was. I snuck away and I was reading it. Okay, we have a few minutes. So, yesterday, yes, Janardhan Prabhu. Yesterday, Srila Gurudev was talking about the difference between Mantramayi Upasana and Svarasiki Upasana. Mantramayi Upasana, he discussed, is when you have received any Harikatha from Sri Guru or from their books, and you meditate or remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna while chanting the holy names of the Lord. When we were young, much, much younger than 12, they told us, don't think of anything. So naturally you try to think of blackness or whiteness, something blank. And then years later you're like, why is nothing happening in my bhakti? Why am I not developing any mood of devotion? Because I'm chanting and meditating on nothing. And Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita, however you approach me, I reciprocate accordingly. This is what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was doing. Mahaprabhu was sitting there for 7 days, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was giving all Mayavad commentaries on all Shastras. Mahaprabhu was just sitting there, not responding. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya looks at him and says, hey, I've been speaking for 7 days and you haven't said anything. Do you have anything to say? The moment he treated Mahaprabhu as a person, Mahaprabhu responded. Where were we?
You were going to give them a point where if you meditate on Krishna, then what will happen?
I'm back. Radhe Radhe. Radha Vino Bihari Ju Ki Jai. The moment he treated Mahaprabhu as a person, Mahaprabhu responded. He told Mahaprabhu, 7 days, you have not said anything. Second, he treated him as a person. Then Mahaprabhu started speaking back. If you approach Harinam Prabhu and think of nothing, because Harinam is not different from Krishna, Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita, as you approach me, I reciprocate. If you're thinking of nothing, the result will be nothing. If you're thinking of and absorbing your mind in Krishna, the result will be, let me see if anyone can get that answer right. If we're thinking of mundane things, money, sensual enjoyment, position, power, prestige, while chanting, what will the result be? So they were telling us, don't think of anything while chanting. And then we came to our Srila Gurudev, and he never once said that. He said, chant and remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna. That made a lot more sense. Some were saying, just hear the sound, but don't think of anything else. There's some scope for that. But if you are not thinking of something or trying not to think of something, inevitably you will think of something else, because we cannot be stagnant, because that's not the nature of the soul. The nature of the soul is, in essence, Sat Chit Ananda. It is eternally existent. It is meant to be full of knowledge. It is. And bliss, happiness, love, affection, relationship, that is chit. There should be relationship there. That is sambandha, rasa. It's the nature of the soul. So if you try to block it from that, well, that is what all of our Guru Varga have come to basically defeat. Nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatya reshitarine namaste saraswati deve gauravani pracharine. Nirvishesh means nothingness or variety lessness, without variety. And shunyavad means the conception of nothingness. This is what our Srila Prabhupada came to root out. And what did he come to put in its place? Gauravani. O Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Brajavadu Vargena Ya Kalpita Śrīmad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradaro Naparaha. This is what he came to give in its place. The supreme worshipful object is none other than the son of Nanda Mahārāja, Krishna in Vrindavan, the beloved of Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radhika, Krishna in Vrindavan. Vrindavan, therefore, is the topmost worshipable place. And the method, the mood of loving service, complete dedication, without any other thing holding them back. Ramya Kachid Upasana Brajavadu Vargena Kalpita. That is the topmost upasana, or method of serving the Lord, by which he himself says, I cannot repay you for your love and affection. What proves this? Śrīmad Bhagavatam, the spotless evidence. And what is the goal? Well, what are they doing? They are giving their full hearts, love and affection to Krishna. This is prem. That is the goal. And this is the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, there is nothing beyond it. And we accept Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's words. Srila Gurudev said once, if you don't know anything, if I asked you a question, you don't know anything, if you ever quote Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, you will be right. So he has a special affinity to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So chant and remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna. This is called Mantramayi Upasana, as we have received them from our Gurudev, from our Guru Varga, and from Shastra. Not something concocted in our mind, not some pretense or superimposition of something, make something up and think about that. What we have received, those pastimes, like what is in Krishna book, what are in the books of our Goswamis, what they have divinely witnessed and revealed to us, then we can meditate on those sweet pastimes while we're chanting. That is known as Mantra Mayi Upasana. That is different from Svarasiki Upasana, which is spontaneous overflow of transcendental pastimes manifesting into the heart of any very highly elevated Vaishnava. They don't have to even try or think of those pastimes. The pastimes are flowing like a waterfall, constantly in their heart. Everywhere they go, everywhere they turn, they see their Ishtadev and they have visions of these sweet pastimes wherever they go. Hey Radhe Vrajadevike Chalalite Hey Nandashunokuta Shri Govardhana Kalpapada Patale Kalindi Vanyekuta. At Govardhan, at Jamuna River, wherever they go, under every tree, everywhere they see Krishna and his pastimes. And this is Svarasiki Upasana. All of our Guru Varga are immersed solely in that mode of meditation. Means they're not even necessarily meditating. The meditating is happening to them. Yes. How do we get those visions? Intense eagerness, greed. And that you get by associating with and serving and following those who have it, the pure devotees. The root qualification for Krishna Bhakti Ras is the intense, greedy desire to have it, and wherever you can get it, you must purchase it without delay. And then another verse says, the birthplace of Krishna Bhakti is the association of the pure devotees. How essential is that? Even after the attainment of perfection, it is still the most essential thing. And then, tomorrow we're going to sing, because we're following Ekadashi tomorrow here. Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajana Anukul Bhakata Seva Parama Siddhi Prema Lati Karamul. The root cause of the Latika means the creeper of prem manifesting in our heart is Bhakata Seva, serving the pure devotees of the Lord. So you asked, how will this come? Yes. When you're chanting japa, if you're not thinking of Krishna and Krishna's pastimes, we've all experienced it. Oh, I hope I'm not the only one. But if I'm not endeavoring to think about the positive, then anything else will come. As Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Mahārāja said, in the daytime, as you are moving around, I've heard Sudevi say this many times, she was quoting Srila Bharati Maharaj, you've got 5 recorders going. You've got your ears, your nose, your eyes, your tongue, and your sense of touch. And they are recording your environment. The moment you try to sit in one place and quiet your mind, boom, it's like they all hit play at the same time. If you do not put something positive in that place, then you will be meditating on everything else which might not be anukul or favorable for bhakti. So we'll sit down to chant and we'll just be thinking about, oh, my daughter had this problem, my car, I have to get fixed, I have to do that. Oh my God, did you see what's going on in America? Woo! This virus, that thing, this thing, so many other things will come into our minds, but we won't think of Krishna. And what will the result be of our chanting? We will still be absorbed in all material and mundane things. So Gurudev would always again and again say, chant and remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna. Then this will become mantra mayi upasana. And from that, as we practice again and again and again through that medium, like a child learning to ride a bicycle, first he's got his training wheels. Then, once he gets proficient, then they lift those training wheels up a little bit, but still he's able to kind of balance it. Then they lift them up higher, then they remove them, but still he has to think very carefully. And after some time, he might be able to ride without even holding the handlebars. And then he might be able to do tricks and flips and everything else. He's so natural at it. It's second hand. It's second nature. So as one is practicing and practicing and practicing under the guidance of Gurudev and being responsible seva, then gradually Gurudev will awaken more and more of what we are meant to experience. And eventually, that spontaneous Svarasiki Upasana will manifest. It's not that we're making it manifest, but we will attract it by following Gurudev. Gurudev will see, oh, you are sincere. Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj asked, why do we do sadhana? If on your own you cannot capture the infinite, then why are we doing sadhana? He said, because Guru tells you to do it. And when he sees that you are sincere and you are willing to follow his instructions, to do as he says, then he will say, okay, you're being responsible. Let me give you a little bit more. Like any parent, they don't want to just give their wild teenage son the inheritance, right? A little bit. We see here in Vrindavan how the shopwallas, they've got their little kids sitting there day after day, year after year. I remember Mahesh shop, cloth shop in Vrindavan. I was there in Vrindavan Gurukul in 1986. And I remember when those two who are in charge now, which is one was like 2 or 3 and the other one was just newborn. And they sat in that shop day after day, year after year with their family and naturally learned everything. And gradually, as they became more and more qualified, the parents were just kind of sitting back, just overseeing, but they gave the full responsibility to the children. And now those children are grown up with families of their own and children of their own, and they're managing and doing everything. One of them recently passed away, the seniors, and the other one is still there, but they're retired. So naturally, Sri Guru will see, you are learning, you have learned, you have apprenticed properly. So gradually they will give a little more, a little more, a little more. And one day they will give you the keys and the full rights to the treasury. You are responsible, you can look after everything. So Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāja and our Gurudev and our Guru Varga have explained it like this. Oh Devaki, absolutely. Look at those pictures. Srila Prabhupada called them windows to the spiritual world. The moment you look at a picture of Krishna lifting Govardhan, the entire pastime of Govardhan Leela should manifest. And you should be chanting, remembering that. And then you see the other one of Krishna standing there and all of his friends going into the mouth of Agasura. And then those pastimes should manifest. And we should remember them and think about them in detail. Or we can also meditate on the meanings of any verses like this. For us now, it is essential to put something positive in that space. And then gradually it will become automatic, natural. Thank you, Rudra. Okay, so we actually did not read anything new today, but we discussed very many pertinent points, all relating to what we were already discussing yesterday and the days before. So now the time is getting late here. Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupānuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Patik Pavana Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vino Bihari ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Remember, Sudevi just gave me a reminder that everyone should pray for the quick recovery of Anjali's youngest kiddo. Also, today I saw something online. A senior Prabhupada disciple, his name is Dasharat. His son, named Ram, took a fall in Los Angeles. He fell off, maybe, I don't know, somehow he fell. And he fell like 60 feet, landed on a rock on his back, and he's going through intensive surgery right now. So I just saw it before the program, and this devotee is asking that we can pray for his son, who's 47 now. You just pray for his benefit, pray for his well-being, whatever the outcome. I'm praying that whatever this is, that somehow it will awaken his desire further, or further increase his desire and longing for Krishna Bhakti Rasa. Did I just see Raghava Pandit Prabhu? Dandava Pranam. Okay, youngest kiddo's name, Daya. May Daya get better soon. Radhe Radhe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, 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 Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Shri Śrī Dāmodara, Shri Devi ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Krupāni ki jai, Patipavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vinodihari ki jai, Radha Maraju ki jai, Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedānta ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Govinda Nam Dharma Govinda Nam Dharma Govinda Nam Dharma Govinda Nam Dharma Bolo Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Hari Hari Bol.
So thank you all very much for giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Srila Gurudev and our Guru Varga. Also, we cannot express our indebtedness enough to all of you for daily giving us the opportunity to serve our Srila Gurudev as he instructed, by following his order, that even when I'm no longer on this sphere, I want that you continue to travel and preach my mission and inspire on my behalf everywhere. So you're giving us this opportunity to make that endeavor, so we cannot repay you for that. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will observe Ekadashi. Madhavditi Ekadashi ki
Jai.
So that will be tomorrow. Check your calendars. I don't know how it is where you are. And we look forward to being with you tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Anjali. I'm also wishing that your child, what's his
Daya.
name? Daya, gets better very quickly. Radhe Radhe Jayanti.
Shri Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki
Jai.
jai. Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai.
Jai.
I just got a message that rotis are coming in 20 minutes.
Rotis are coming in 20
Radhe
minutes.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Dandavat Pranam.
Ci vediamo domani. Radhe Radhe.